AM 760 KFMB.
It is the Brett Winterble Show, 800-760 KFMB, 800-760-5362. And I am thrilled to welcome into the studio. We did it on the phone last time, I think, right? It's great to have him in studio. Lenny Magill from the GlockStore and Gun Fit right here, right around the corner from us here at 760 KFMB. Great to have you back, Lenny.
Thanks, Brett. It's good to be on the show. And, you know, it's always fun to be close to you as a neighbor because you actually shot the Gun Fit. That was a ton of fun. Oh,
it's a ton. It is I'll tell you, you will never go back to the lane setup again. The Gun Fit, it's realistic. It gets you so fired up, and it's exciting.
Well, we shoot at multiple targets. That's the key, and in multiple directions. So you really don't get to do that almost anywhere you go. And that gives the shooter a realistic scenario-based training that applies to the real world.
Sure.
But then again, it's more fun.
Absolutely.
Because shooting down a lane is just kind of boring. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's our claim to fame. We've got 3 combat rooms that we have. Like you said, just around the corner from your office here. We're over on Ruffner and Ronson. Yep. And it's a 40,000 square foot facility with a really dynamic retail store and these 3 shooting rooms. And we've got our warehousing, our admin, all that stuff. But it's a fun place to visit. And people come from all around the country, and even, you know, they'll fly into San Diego just to come to see the store.
You know what I love about it is, especially for somebody who may not be as proficient as they'd like to be. They're not quite at, their shooting skill isn't quite where they want it to be, or they're a first-time shooter. It's a very welcoming, open, warm place. And what I really like is you're in there with an instructor. So you don't have to kind of debate, should I go in? Should I go in by myself? No, you're in there with an instructor, which is what it takes the edge off of it. It takes the nervousness, the uncertainty off of it. And I think that's what's so welcoming about it, Lenny, because you're in there, you're getting trained in the right ways to position, to hold, to fire, and all the gun safety that you all emphasize, I think is phenomenal. Well, it gets you working right away.
Well, thank you. You're right. It's really nice to have a person there who can guide you through the basics. And even if you're an accomplished shooter, we'll load your magazines for you. Yeah. So we do all the grunt work, and we make it a lot more fun. And you get a lot more shooting in a 15 or 30 minute or in a 1 hour period than you do at a normal range, because, you know, we're doing a lot of the work for you. We're setting targets up for you. We're scoring your targets. So, you know.
And I've seen some of your handiwork over at the YouTube page over at GlockStore. And you can see the way you've worked in there as well. And it's remarkable. You get really efficient. You feel strong. You feel confident coming out. But let's talk about the fact that we've just come off of a very heated political campaign. And in the run up to that, there was a lot of discussion about people going out and deciding they were going to either become first-time gun owners, or they were going to add to what they already had. Did you see an uptick in these recent months coming up into the election? People coming into the GlockStore?
Absolutely. The big scare was Hillary, of course. Mm-hmm. And what a night it was. I mean, crazy night. No one really saw that coming. I think everybody was surprised. I honestly really think Donald Trump was surprised. There were a couple of people who called it, but they were kind of outliers. I think everybody, was told that, hey, this is a shoo-in for Hillary. And so the gun activity certainly picked up because she's a known anti-gunner. Yeah. I mean, it's no secret. She's said it aloud, and she's actually, tried to act upon it. We've seen people not only buying handguns, but the long gun thing, of course, here in California is going to become very strange as of January 1st. So the AR-15 market is going to dry up, and people are very concerned that they're not going to be able to buy a true AR-15 after January 1st.
No, wait a minute. This may be new information to some of the people out there. Tell us a little bit about how this is going to affect ownership.
Well, you are not going to be able to buy, as of January 1st, a true AR-15 rifle anymore. That's it. It's just, in California, it's dried up. So what that means, though, your listeners have to understand that because there's a 10-day waiting period, that means they have to make the purchase 10 days before the 1st. So really, we've got an arbitrary date that we set in our store that's December 17th.
Okay.
That's like the last day because of the holidays and all that stuff happening, after January 1st. And so we want people to be able to purchase the gun, do their 10-day waiting period, and be able to come back and pick it up before January 1st, because you won't be able to pick it up after that.
We also know that, and that is so important to know. We also know there's some uncertainty around 63, which passed pretty substantially last night, and that is the ammunition background check and the potential maybe limits on what you can buy, how much you can have at a given time. This has just got to be a regulatory nightmare for you, Lenny.
Well, it's very difficult to stay on top of it, and even when we call the DOJ, they don't really know for sure how it's going to play out. They don't know how they're going to regulate it. They don't know how they're going to manage it or enforce it. So what we hear right now is that there's going to be a card that you apply for and present when you buy ammo. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure how they're going to limit how much you can buy in one day based upon, you go from store to store to store. Are they going to track that number? Possibly.
Sure.
But enforcement. So what if you bought, 200 rounds in a day? They're going to come knock on your door.
Right.
And how, and how will that play out? So it's really it's a shame because it just, puts all of us law-abiding citizens in a situation where you're, invariably going to break some law.
It's amazing. Visiting with Lenny Magill. He is the owner over at the GlockStore and at Gunfit, right around the corner from us here over on Ruffner and Ronson. We are looking at a situation here. Security has never been a higher concern for people. Self-defense has never been a higher concern for people. And obviously, we celebrate responsible gun ownership. And that's why I would encourage people to check out the GlockStore, because you get in there, you run the Gunfit, it feels great, you feel confident. And especially, my wife is very excited about the fact that we've got that there. And, the idea that I would invite anybody who wants to just become more proficient, more knowledgeable. You have an incredibly friendly staff, very professional, and they guide you through all the process.
Well, we, of course, have every Glock available. Yeah. But the one thing that we can do there that a lot of stores don't is we allow people to test drive, quote unquote, any gun they want to see that that's the one I like. Yeah. So we get it in their hands, they like the way it feels, and then we say, hey, you want to shoot it? And usually they say, sure, can I try that one too? And so we take them into the range and they'll shoot 2 different guns, and then they invariably are able to make a better choice as to what they like, what's going to fit their needs the best. And we ask them, what's it for? A lot of people, I'd say 80% of the people are really about self-defense, home defense. Hey, I'm not a competition shooter. I'm not going to be concealed carry, but I just want to be able to protect my home, protect my kids, protect my family. And so that's what we see. And so we work with those people to not only, one, be able to operate the gun, be able to maintain it, but also to shoot it in a self-defense manner, not just a target shooting, because that's very different. If you stand there and you aim and you put the sights together, that's not how it's going to happen in a house. It's going to be a much more rapid situation, much closer, and possibly multiple targets.
So it's a tactical. You want to get tactically proficient. You want to understand what you're doing.
You want to be aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a fun. It's fun actually too. There's actually a fun side.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. I went with Kristen, who's a great sales rep here at 760. We had a great time. She outshot me in a couple things. It was really great. We had a good time. And I want to end on this one thing here. And it's this, because it's so much fun, and it is such a great way to get more proficient, more familiar with your products over at the GlockStore. The one thing I really love about it is your professional staff. They come in there, they're in Gunfit with you, they're in the room. That part is incredible. And I remember when we first met, we first sat down, you gave a great analogy, which was, it's like golf. Right, except what it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier, right?
Yeah, well, it's not like golf, because it is so easy. It's something you can pick up very quickly. We've seen shooters, who've never really shot before, go from A to M, pretty darn fast. Literally they're shooting multiple targets. They're shooting fast. They're aggressive, and they look at it and they say, wow, that was fun. And so there's a really satisfaction that comes with being able to control the handgun and control it and shoot multiple targets really fast. It's just someone's got to try it. You come up, I invite all your listeners, come up, check it out, check out the store. We'll take good care of you.
That's great stuff. Yeah. Lenny Magill, GlockStore, GlockStore.com. You're on Facebook. You're on YouTube. You can see all the great videos there as well. Really appreciate you coming by, helping us make sense of these new regulations, the new political environment. It's great to have you here.
Well, thank you, and thanks to all your listeners, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you there.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks.
That's Lenny Magill. He is with the GlockStore, GlockStore.com, right around the corner from here as well, over on Ruffner and Ronson. So be sure to check it out.
The Brett Winterble Show. Liberty, justice, and stuff you like. AM 760 KFMB.